when doctors strike, what really happens, and why pharmacists must pay attention. Every time doctors strike, the NHS does not stop. The pressure does not disappear and the risk does not go away. It just shifts, and very often it shifts quietly onto pharmacists. Now, this video isn't about supporting or opposing strike action. It's about what strikes really reveal about the NHS's state. Hello everyone, I'm George, a UK hospital pharmacist, and I want to highlight what these strikes uncover and why pharmacists and other healthcare professionals who pay attention will be far better positioned than those that don't. So these strikes act as a stress test for the NHS. The doctor strikes don't cause any new issues or problems, they just expose the ones that already exist. When medical staffing drops, even temporarily, system fragility becomes visible very quickly. Discharge process is slow, A&E waiting times increase, decision-making bottlenecks, escalation pathways become unclear, and elective surgery and procedures are all deferred or displaced. In short, the work doesn't vanish, patients don't pause their illnesses, and clinical risk does not reduce. It simply shifts. It gets reprioritized. And in many hospitals, pharmacists become one of many stabilizing forces. Whether that is formally recognized or not is up to the media outlets. So what actually changes for pharmacists during strike action? So on the ground, what changes for pharmacists during strike actions may not be obvious on paper, but it's very real in practice. You see increased prescribing queries and errors due to that higher demand. You see greater discharge pressures and late discharges, maybe unsafe discharges at times. They're trying to push people through to try and create some flow. And more of the requests of can pharmacy just do seem to appear. And all of this comes on top of the existing clinical, operational, logistic, governance responsibilities that pharmacists carry. Therefore, their time becomes compromised, compressed, and prioritization is even more critical and the risk is even more concentrated. Pharmacists often provide continuity plans for when medical staffing is reduced, whether they're rotating, stressed, or striking. Pharmacists become the safety net for decisions that still need to be made, particularly as independent prescribing becomes more embedded across clinical services. Pharmacists become the default escalation point due to them being present, accessible, and trusted. Now, this isn't about being a hero, it's just about the reality. Pharmacists, alongside other staff groups, don't strike-proof the system, they just absorb the shock and hold the reduced service together until full staffing can be attained. Much like Spider-Man when he's trying to stop the train. And yes, we do pull those faces at times. So what does strike action mean for pharmacy and other professions? So I can, as a pharmacist, confidently speak about what it means to pharmacy, though much of this will resonate across all healthcare professional disciplines and professions. These periods of system stress accelerate role evolution and integration into clinical teams. For pharmacists, this includes greater emphasis on increasing independent prescribing pharmacists and deeper integration into the MDTs as a business as usual approach, an emphasis on advancing clinical practice and enhanced clinical roles, greater integration in clinical leadership pathways, and greater operational accountability and influence. These are no longer future developments. They are happening right now, and that is being accelerated by strike action. Although often done informally and as a knee-jerk reaction, hence there is no job alignment or JD being updated. So the strikes acting as a stress test force the system, the NHS, to review who can step up in these moments of need. So think beyond defined roles and task lists, identifying, mitigating, and managing those risks, being able to lead under uncertainty and adapt quickly, and communicate effectively across all disciplines. Now, all of these things I've just listed, for my eyes, is what pharmacy should do and are able to do. So pharmacists already do a lot of this, but in these strike actions, we can really leverage off that and really prove our worth to excel our careers and excel our integration as pharmacy in the healthcare profession. Now, with all of this, we need to be really careful around leadership and being a martyr. There is a critical distinction between both. What I mean by that, there's only a slight difference between stepping up and doing what's needed to then being quietly exploited on the back end. So silence resilience is not leadership. Absorbing the risk without boundaries is not progression, and merely hoping that recognition follows effort is not a strategy for progression. Leadership should look like clear escalation and governance pathways, documented decisions and procedures, visibility and tracking of impact, in acknowledging professional challenges, limitations, and pushing back to ensure patient safety. Because at the end of the day, the patient should come first and we should not be acting in an unsafe manner. Therefore, the pharmacists that progress are not the ones that simply do the most. They are the ones that can clearly understand and articulate where the impacts can be made, what they carried out, why it mattered, the impact that they had, and turn that into role evolution. So taking all of those points and thinking forward, what should you do now? So if you're a forward-thinking pharmacist or a healthcare professional, what should you actually do in the strike actions and post it to help your career progression? First, reflect. Where did you absorb risk during these periods of disruption? Where did you step up beyond your role? What went well? What didn't go well? What would you change? Then second, capture what you did. Let's flip the script to be leadership and development opportunities, not just busy shifts. Documentation is key. Documentation of what you did is evident, and it is undeniable when you have these conversations to progress your career. Third, use it in application, in interviews, in appraisals, in role redesign and service development opportunities. You can also use these scenarios in deciding if your current role still serves you and your long-term career aspirations. Moments like the doctor strike don't just stress the NHS, they reveal where you sit within it and where you can have the most impact. So that's all for my video in changing what strike action is and what it means to pharmacists, what the strike action does for the NHS, what happens during a strike action and what it means to pharmacists, and why pharmacists and healthcare professionals can really use this as a development opportunity for their careers. So if you're a pharmacist or healthcare professional thinking about taking the next step, whether that is a step up in your career, whether that is going from band 6 to band 7 to band 8, or whether that is looking into a vast practice, or simply taking control of your career, this system level awareness is exactly what interview panels desire and are looking for. So to help you with that, I have links and resources below if you're preparing your application, preparing for interviews, or simply looking for new roles. So that's all for this video. If this video has been helpful and has resonated with you, please subscribe. This channel is for you. It is helping pharmacists and healthcare professionals future-proof their careers and survive the current pressures in the NHS and build leverage for tomorrow. So I'll leave you with a final question. Should NHS pharmacists or other healthcare professionals take up strike action also? That's all from me. Have a great day, George.